Changing. Hey guys, my name is Justin, call sign Blitz.
My name's Raven, call sign Spectre.
And we're here today to help you get started with Airsoft.
So the first thing we're gonna notice or note is iPro is the most important part of Airsoft, and there's like many different types of iPro that you could use. For example, you could use either iPros like this. These are the Valken Zulus, right?
Yeah, Valken or the Pyramex
Pyramex.
I-Force.
They're the same thing. You gotta make sure also that they are Z87.1 rated,
Yes.
or they are CSA workplace approved, so you don't get your eye shot out. Another option is, as you can see, what Justin and I are wearing. We are both wearing rated shooter's glasses. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing the ESS crossbows.
Now I'm wearing the Milcraft rated shooter's glasses, and as you can see with mine, I have pretty bad eyesight, so I need RX inserts. I know that ESS makes inserts for theirs also, so if you ever want to run, if you don't want to run like big goggles like these,
Like this. Yeah. This one is like the most common full sealed goggles, and you can see it's all sealed bottom down there. Usually there's a foam around here, but people take it out because you usually fog when you have them on. But this is the safest way to go.
Yeah, that's the safest way to go. A lot of guys just usually transition over to like shooter's glasses just because it decreases fogging, and that's another thing with fogging. So would you like to talk about that?
So the most common problem at the field for players is their goggles fogging. It's when you're sweating and then you suddenly sit there and your goggles is fogging. Most important, never take the goggles off at the field. You will get yelled at.
Whew, it's so hot today.
Hey bro,
Oh. Oh. Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another important thing is, yeah, if you're fogging really bad, just fan it out from your using your hands, but never take off your iPro because that's a really dangerous thing to do.
Or you can tell the refs that you have to step out for a sec because you need to defog your goggles. And there's a lot of YouTube or Google DIY for anti-fog. There's also sprays you can buy to defog, prevent it from fogging. And yeah.
So like also the number one issue for defogging is actually wearing face pro. Like for example here, this is the most common one that new players would usually get are these full mesh ones. What happens is the perspiration builds up around the metal mesh area, and it just pushes all the moisture into your iPro. So that's one of the reasons why. But that's also another downfall, because if you don't wear face pro, you can get your teeth shot out, or you get shot on the lips. And another thing with the face pros, there are many different versions. This is, like I said, this is the original one, which new players would usually get. But the one that I personally would recommend for a new player to be getting is something like this. This is a One Tigress hybrid mask. So the sides has perforated mesh, like padding and all that stuff. So you could get a better cheek weld, and then the front is full of like wire mesh, but you still will fog, even though it's like there's like many holes and all that stuff. Now another version of a face mask, which is pretty brand new, is what Justin runs. Justin, would you care to talk about your face?
What I have here is it's called the Delta Mic Pro face mask. Pretty much, it's one of these things.
It's like a half balaclava, pretty much.
With a mesh metal inside it to protect your mouth, like that.
Yeah.
So if you want a low profile this is to go
Yeah.
Delta Micro.
So if you want to go super low profile, you want to use that, but you're not protecting your nose also. That's another thing, is that you have your nose exposed. So at least with these, you would get a full coverage from your like chin, mouth, and up to your nose bridge. So you get a full coverage in this certain area right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Face Pro. I mean, it's better to wear Face Pro. I mean, you could just wear a balaclava and run like this, but BBs will still penetrate through that like no problem. So for this segment, we have our youngest member on the team from Overwatch 6. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name is Will Daya from Overwatch 6, call sign Frost. For this segment, we're going to be talking about hand protection, or gloves. So I'm using Mechanics M-Packs. These are really good because they have the padding on the knuckles and on the fingers as well. But as you can see here, they're really thick with 2 C's. So the downside of that is that if I'm trying to reach for a magazine, it could be too thick. I can't really like feel the magazine. So what you can do if your gloves are too thick, you can also just cut off the fingers and the thumbs, or you can just sacrifice protection and get thinner gloves.
Alright, so here are another versions of the Mechanics gloves. I think these are the Quick Fit or something like that. And our cameraman Ray, these are actually his gloves right here. So he mostly plays as a sniper role. So obviously he wants the dexterity for handling the magazines, because he runs a SSG-24.
So you can manipulate the weapon more
Exactly.
easily.
Yeah. So he cut off the thumb and the trigger finger, like the tips of the gloves right here, and these are really, they have a lot of dexterity to them. And yeah, compared to the impacts, they don't have that much protection though. That's one of the downsides, but overall, they would be still a perfect pair of gloves for a beginner. And also,
And these aren't that expensive either.
yeah, exactly.
Very affordable.
Yeah. And here we have Blitz's gloves.
So this is my very first gloves when I first started. Got from Amazon. Just search tactical gloves. This will come up, and this one pretty much has a plastic knuckles. This used to have a full length for fingers, but I cut down. But yeah, it's pretty good gloves for starter.
Alright guys, up next we're going to be talking about head pro or head protection. There's 2 basic options, I guess the 2 golden standards. You got your hats and you got your helmets. I remember wearing, what's it called, a multicam baseball cap from Condor. It's pretty cheap. But now I'm running, up to this day, a bump helmet. This is just a basic OpsCore knockoff from Camouflage. It's pretty affordable, it's about 80 bucks. And this is basically the same material as your regular bicycle helmets. And for the front here, I'm just running GoPro Hero 5 black, and I got a head strap. I use the head strap that comes with it because I'm not that special. 2 broke to buy from Brain Exploder and 2 Impatient as well. Just a basic helmet setup, your camera and the helmet itself. You don't want to run a lot of stuff if you can, because a lot of stuff emits a lot of heat and increases fogging issues. So Spectre, what's your
Yeah,
helmet setup
so
look like?
here I have a Cry Repro airframe. So for example, compared to Will's helmet, the airframe replica is actually a lot thicker in like the material wise, so it actually does add a lot of weight. As you can see the difference with his, I do not run a GoPro on it. I run Impact Sports ear Pro on here. I use these to connect to my PTT system when I talk. I use this from time to time, but I am mostly DMR roll, and I prefer to just run a boonie. And going into boonies, this is my personal boonie right here. I have it all gillied up with raffia, whatever camo netting it is. This is a True Spec Multicam Tropic boonie right here, and I have a 3D printed GoPro mount right here to record all my footage. And as you can clearly see right now, what Justin and I are wearing are just typical baseball caps, and you can just start out with them. Justin, would you like to talk about your headgear?
Yeah, I have a 511 baseball hat here. Pretty good. This is what RCMP uses. Extra protection for your head, that's all you need. Unless you get shot in the head a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to wear a condor as well, what Raven or Spectre here is using. Alright guys, up next we have the pants. You gotta use proper pants when you play Airsoft. Well, just basically this is a cargo pants from Walmart, $30. It has a good material, pockets in the sides where you put your magazines or whatnot, your wallet. And my first pants was this one from Walmart, and it lasted me 6 months before the crotch ripped. Now what I use is a UF Pro Striker XT. I got a good deal from it, so I got it. It's pretty good. It's pretty expensive for a new player, so we'll stick with the Walmart for now. Will, what do you have?
So yeah, I used to run Woodland Wrangler pants from Walmart. They're actually pretty good. They actually still hold up today. They actually didn't rip, like Justin's, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do a lot of movements.
Okay. Yeah, continue. It's okay, continue.
Alright, so for my old pants, I used to run a pair of M80 Woodland Wranglers. They're basically the same pants as Justin's or Blitz's, and they actually still hold up today. They're actually really durable for the price that you're buying them for. And right now, I'm wearing some multicam black cargo pants from Amazon, and these are pretty cheap. They're kind of rigid, but that's okay, they'll hold up, and they're pretty stretchable, and they fit really well. Yeah, basically with pants, what you want to, like the basic rule of thumb is you don't want to get like any like skinny jeans. You want something that's gonna be like not too loose but not too tight either, and just something that has a good material, good stitching, and is gonna hold up when you run.
So for when I began playing Airsoft, I actually bought Amazon type tactical pants in Marpat, and they were the really cheap type. They eventually broke or ripped where the crotch area is at, so eventually I bought a pair of TMC Replica Multicam Tropic Generation 3 combat pants, and these ones are perfect because they have stretch fabric on the knee area. So as you can see right here, if I ever bend my knee, the fabric stretches, and around the crotch area also there is stretch fabric right there. And as you can see, I am running Arc'teryx knee pads because I prefer external knee pads over to the internal ones. But yeah, wearing proper pants is a really key essential thing so that you would have a better time playing than rather have a really bad time trying to adjust your pants and everything like that.
Alright guys, for this next segment we're going to be talking about proper footwear. So with footwear you basically have two options. You have leather and you have those nylon boots. So both of them have their upsides and downsides. Leather's good for like the colder weathers, and nylon's the more breathable type for the summer engagements. So for here, it's kind of summertime around like Canada. So that doesn't really look like summertime, but I'm using North Face mid-cut boots. These are pretty affordable. They're like, I think $100. And the thing with footwear is that they're something you really gotta invest in, besides eyewear, of course. But you don't want to trip and roll your ankle. Airsoft is a pretty physically demanding sport, so any like mild fall or roll on your ankle could like really injure you and probably ruin your day. So that's my footwear.
Okay. So going on what Frost or Will was talking about, yeah, footwear is a really important thing. I am wearing Columbia hiking boots. These are called mid-cut. So as you can see, they do have somewhat of an ankle support right here. There is called a high cut also, where this portion of the boot is up to here. Usually those ones offer the most protection, and usually, let's say casual running sneakers, you could wear those, but running in the woods at full speed, there is a huge possibility where you could actually roll your ankle. So I decided just to get mid cuts because I didn't want to like have super high boots that I would have hard time moving in versus low cuts, which are, you know, you get no ankle support or anything like that. So I just went for the middle ground. So Justin, would you like to talk about yours now?
Right, so basically, what I tell new people, there's two kinds of shoes. There's the combat boots or just wear hiking shoes. Because pretty much, they feel like Panther, you're hiking through their terrain. So hiking shoes is the best way to go. Lots of grip. Instead of running like running shoes, it's slippery. It's meant for like actual concrete sort of surface. But so yeah, hiking shoes. I wear normal hiking shoes. Nothing special. It's grippy. I like it. So yeah. So we're gonna show you a little video about wearing proper shoes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna show that clip right now here.
Alright guys, for this section we're going to be talking about upper body plus torso storage, aka your chest rigs and your plate carriers. So I remember I used to run this really nice small olive drab chest rig. No idea where I bought it from. I just got it from like Facebook Marketplace. But there's a lot of military surplus stores that are like, they sell pretty cheap but pretty functional chest rigs. You can check them out there. Right now I'm running a Ferro Concept Slickster, and I have the Haley Strategic pouches here and Ferro Concepts dangler. Now this is a pretty pricey stuff, but it is an investment, so not the best stuff for beginners. Maybe if you're more invested into the sport, you can invest in mil spec stuff like this. But my recommendation is that you don't want to invest too much in this sport when you're starting out. You might invest $500 worth of gear, and you go out. The sport's not really for you, and there you go. You're stuck with $500 worth of gear trying to sell it off.
Yep.
So yeah, buy cheap stuff, work your way up. Justin, what do you have for us?
So when I first started, I always wanted to wear a plate carrier. So this is a plate carrier right here, what I use the whole time. And we also have a chest rig. There's two kinds. The chest rig is a low profile, and the plate carrier is more like you can lots of storage, your magazine. You can put a hydration bladder in the back if you want, and there's a good padding, good for protection if you don't like being hit, and good weight also. And Spectre, you want to talk about your chest rig?
Yeah, sure. So what I have here is a TMC Mark III chest rig. I used to also wear plate carriers like the other two guys, but I decided to switch over a chest rig. Reason why is because it's more lightweight. Literally all there is to a chest rig is this. That's why it's called a chest rig, because you have this central rig area where it just goes onto here, and that's pretty much it. The reason why I switched over, just because plate carriers can get a bit too hot during the summer.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you don't set them up properly, they could be uncomfortable. But it's again up to the user's preference. Now for a beginner, I would recommend them getting a chest rig.
Yeah.
But the thing is with a chest rig, like for example, what Frost and Blitz has in theirs, they have the foam paddings. I know that a lot of the ones that you buy off brand, for example, you buy it from Amazon, like Yakeda or something like that, right?
Yakeda.
Yeah, Yakeda. You will not get plate inserts for those, so those are different. So these might look sturdy. Only reason why is because they have plate inserts in them.
Yeah, and a thing I'd like to add on to replica armor plates is that if you get replica armor plates, they're like about $15. They're just foam. You can get actual replica training plates, but you know, that's for more intermediate expert stuff. But the thing I want to touch on with replica plates is that they fit and mold to your body more, and that's good because if you're running a holster system, you don't want your plate carrier just drooping down whenever you're running. So you want all your upper body stuff like as tight on your body, not too tight because you want to breathe a lot. Breathing's pretty good, right?
Yeah, breathing's pretty good. It's really
you want to
important.
breathe when you exercise and play yourself. Yeah, you want your stuff staying on you, not moving around whatsoever, and yeah, that's basically it. That's all I really have to say about our builds. Yeah.
want to add something to that, if you're in a budget, go for the Amazon ones. They're cheap and they're good for starting.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good for starting.
Totally works.
Yeah, like mostly for my beginner build, what I was running is mostly stuff from Amazon. Then eventually, when I got more into the sport, I started branching out into actual like searching for different products and just picking the certain gear I wanted to run and all that. Next up, we're going to be talking about secondary weapons or pistols. Now, I know for a new player, it might be cool to get a pistol or a secondary right away, right off the bat, but I would really recommend holding that off till you actually like the sport. Reason why is you want to mostly focus on the main gear that you're going to be using.
The essentials.
Yeah, the essentials, and also you want to be focusing also on your main battle rifle or your main gun that you're going to be using. Now, talking about secondaries, if you're going to get one, make sure you get a proper holster for it, because bad holsters are no bueno. Now, for holsters, I'm going to have Frost talk about it.
Okay, so for holsters, you have the basic kinds. You have your nylon holsters and you have your Kydex holsters. So for nylon holsters, they're pretty good for its time, but it's not the best option right now. Granted, there are better options out there to this day with the latest technology. I'm running a Kydex holster, and this is the Safariland 579 GLS system. Now, you're going to see this little platform over here. This is the Safariland UBL mid-ride. So what this allows me to do is that it allows my handgun to be low enough so it clears my whole gear on my torso, but it's not too low like those drop leg holsters where it's gonna flop around. And also the belt slide holsters, you're gonna have to tip over when you're going to draw your weapon. But that's basically it. You also have a thigh strap so it doesn't really move. Without this thigh strap right here, you have an inconsistent draw and it's gonna just allow the holster to just flop around.
Yeah, so as you can see, the three of us were actually running three levels of like ride heights. I am using a belt height level draw because I currently don't have the UBL system what Frost has. You are running mid, right? Frost, you're running a mid ride, right?
Precisely,
Yeah, mid ride, and Justin Blitz, you are running.
It's one inch lower. Than
Yeah, so he's somewhat running a low ride. It's up to your preference. What would you like? Really good rule of a really good
Rule of thumb.
yeah, rule of thumb is you want to make your hand go like this, and if your holster goes any further than this, then you will have a harder time drawing your secondary.
Yeah, and something I'd like to add on to Spectre's loadout is that this is totally fine. Belt mounteds are totally fine. The thing with having a mid right here, if you're doing like a Milsa mop or anything else, which is probably not gonna do, but if you're more on the intermediate side, if you're probably sitting anywhere or just on a vehicle, it can be pretty uncomfortable to have this sort of rig on you. So if you're sitting a lot, or if you're like more of a sniper, belt slides are totally okay with you guys. So yeah.
And if you're in a budget, guys, go for Amazon again.
Yeah,
Those are
Amazon.
good starters for your holsters, and you can upgrade anytime.
Yeah, and also you just want to invest. Okay, so you want to invest slowly. Yeah, you want to get like bang for your buck stuff, but don't get something that's too cheap. If it's too good to be true, then it probably is.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your pistol in the field.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing also is when a lot of new players run, they buy the low ride
Drop leg.
like leg holster,
Full
the
drop
one that
leg.
flops around. This has personally happened to me. I have actually almost lost my pistol a couple of times when I started out playing airsoft. Those things move way too much and they have almost zero retention to them. So that means that the pistol could just easily flop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Precisely. Yeah. Alright guys, so for our final segment, we are going to be talking about probably the best part for you beginners out there, the reason why we play airsoft, the guns. So, there's basically a basic rule of thumb or just a golden standard for beginners out there. You want to get the M4 platform. Now, why do you want the M4 platform? Well, there's lots of reasons, but the basic reasons are it's modular, there's lots of parts for it, so in case your gun breaks, you don't really have to wait like a month or two to get some parts. They're easy to manipulate, they perform well, and that's basically it. That's basically why you want the M4 platform. Now, with the kinds of airsoft rifles, you have like 3 basic technologies, or 4 basically actually. You have your electric or your automatic electric guns, your AEGs, your gas blowback rifles, your high pressure air guns like Spectres, and you have your Springers or your sniper rifles, which is basically Barcode's SSG-24. It looks pretty good, right? Well, for a beginner, you're not really gonna want to run that. For a sniper, you're basically getting a Springer gun that's gonna shoot just a couple of feet.
Okay, just to clarify what Will was saying, if you do get a sniper rifle, it will shoot a lot further than a couple feet. And also, the thing is, getting a sniper rifle for your first gun is you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Reason why is you're going against guys with faster follow-up shots with their AEGs, and you're shooting 1 BB per, like, I don't know, 2 seconds compared to an AEG.
Invest parts and parts and parts into it, you're not really gonna get a lot of results. So AEG is the way to go, and if you're really special or if you're like a spoiled brat, you can ask your mommy and daddy for an HPA gun.
Sorry, excuse me, I bought this with my own money, alright?
Yeah, sure you did. And yeah, Justin, let's go over your build.
So why I choose M4 because it's compatible with mags. It's easier to sort the parts, and if your buddy have a M4 as well, you can share mags. We'll show a video right here. See how important to have a same gun.
Bro, I'm out.
Oh shit, man!
I'm gonna take your mag.
Alright guys, so there's 3 types of magazines you want to buy. I only have 2 here. This is a high cap, can handle 400 rounds, 450 rounds. The only cons about this one is
Tactical maracas, that's what they're
you
called.
run around, it makes a lot of noise, but it holds a lot of rounds. Mostly you start with high caps as a beginner, then you slowly transition to a mid cap, which is a spring. There's a spring in it, and it only holds about 200 rounds, but still there's no noise.
Or you could go low cap, or what they call real cap, which is around 20 to 30 BBs in one magazine, but you're at a huge disadvantage there. Oh yeah, so okay, going on that tangent, let's talk about my gun. So for my gun, I am currently running a HPA gun. Well, I know a lot of guys have controversies about HPA guns. I like them. I also used to run a high-end Crytek AG before, but I switched over to the Inferno Gen 2 HPA. The reason I prefer it is because I mostly play as a DMR or as a bushwookie sniper, and I like the quietness of what a HPA can afford you. Now, granted that you will pay a really high sticker price for HPA, so if you want to convert to HPA or start with HPA, I'd really not recommend it for new beginners. I'd recommend it for you guys to get an AEG gun. Reason why, it's much affordable, and in case if Frost said in the beginning or in the middle that if you do not like the sport, then you will have a much easier time selling off that AEG than an HPA or something like that.
So, Spectre, what's the best affordable starting gun?
So what I'd really recommend is, well, everybody says go for the GNG.
That's what I started out with.
Yeah, CM16. It's available worldwide. I'd really recommend it. But if you can, try and go for a Poseidon. I don't know if Poseidon does release affordable grade beginner gun, same as the CM16, but better internals. If you want to go mid-tier, what, for example, Will is running, he is running Crytek.
Yeah, this is the Crytek Trident CRB Mark II. I've used this for 3 years actually, and it's still working. and I don't even clean this gun. I just clean out the barrel and wipe it down. That's it. Yeah, it's got a lot of
what's
character.
the price range for that, bro?
Yeah, what's the price range for that?
If you're willing to invest, I think I got it for $475.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are saying that this is now like the Honda Civic of airsoft.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's a reason why, because out of the box for me, it's money. It's really good.
Best out of the box.
Yeah,
It
bang
is
for
good,
buck.
yeah.
Crytek and then VFC for sure.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to like go a step down, which is not really that bad, you go for the G&G combat machine, like what I started out with, or the Poseidon one, like what
Yeah.
Spectre said.
New stuff, yeah.
But if you're willing to invest and you're kind of lazy about like upgrade parts like me, just Crytek, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could go. So technically, for example, what Blitz is running, he's running a fully decked out ICS. So ICS is a bit different
Yeah.
from
He has a Mark 18 because
yeah
he's
Mark
special.
18. Yeah, because ICS is a bit different from let's say Crytek. The internals are a bit different, so there are different things between these two guns, but they pretty much are both AEGs and perfect for any beginner airsofter. Yeah. Thanks guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe below, and we'll upload new videos pretty soon. Peace. Yeah, keep going, keep going. So, continue where you're coming from.
So I got these multicam black. Oh fucking hell! Holy shit!
Bro, I'm out. Forgot the